Many years ago, I came across a few lines in a book that I connected with. They were, "It's easy to judge, but you never know another person's heart, what gives them strength and what breaks them down." I have learned to listen more and speak less. The result has been eye-opening conversations and inspirational moments that I have shared with you right here. Hello and welcome to Crystal One-on-One. We're on location at M Maison at Quality Hill Boutique Mall. And with me today, we have a legend in broadcasting, especially when it comes to television in Uganda, Jane Kasumba.
It's a pleasure, Crystal. It's always good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you in ages.
No, you haven't. I've been extraordinarily busy.
Yes.
Like I told you. I know.
And you were away for some time
Yes.
as well.
Most people know me from being at the national broadcaster here in Uganda. I left last year, beginning of last year. And I think we left on good terms. And I was in the US for some time, doing business, personal business. And
personal business, okay.
Handling a lot of that stuff.
Okay.
And when I came back, I'm now part of a new television outfit called Smart 24 Television.
Smart 24.
Smart 24. We do 100% business. It's really exciting stuff.
Okay.
We do 100% business. We have studios in Naguru, that's upmarket, an upmarket area in Uganda.
Okay.
And we have a studio also in Chikubo, which is pretty much
downtown.
And which pretty much counts for almost like 60% of Uganda's economy. It's done downtown.
Okay.
So we needed to be strategic in that regard. We also have the same in Dubai and also in New York. So we want to give Ugandans a 360 view of what business is.
That's very interesting, because you're known for being a sports pundit. Of course, we've seen you on TV quite a few times, even in like other areas, but not necessarily business.
Yeah.
Not necessarily business. I know you were working in public relations, you're a lawyer by profession as well, but business.
That's a very good question, actually, Crystal. I always believe that you must evolve. Yeah, you must reinvent yourself.
Yes.
I think that is very, very important, and many people forget that. And I believe in the fourth industrial revolution, the time that we're living now. It's very important for a person to be able to be malleable and adapt in any single situation possible. I'm a sportscaster, sports anchor, with a specialty in football, but also now I think I can take on and I can appreciate business, because all these aspects have one thing in common: business.
Yes.
If you don't understand business, Crystal,
Then
if you don't understand the art of selling, or making a sale, or making money, really all is lost. Because my assumption is, yes, we work for passion. Yes, we work
Thank you for talking about that.
Yes,
because people say passion. That's been a story that has been sold for years.
I agree with it 100%, because the issue is, at the end of the day, if you get something that you're passionate about, it's easier. Work does not become a drudgery. It's easier for you at the end of the day to be able to transfer that passion and to make it into money. It's much easier. But there are principles of business, basic principles of business, basic principles of making money, that once you get those principles, when you imbibe those principles, it's easy for you to succeed in any environment.
Yes. Just earlier this morning, I was actually watching something online about all these courses where they teach people how to turn their passion into money-making projects, whatever your passion is. So I think those two are very important, because for a long time the story was, find your passion, and it's not about the money, but your passion should go hand in hand with, getting something out of it, really, bottom line.
And I think it's very important. A great scholar once said, you only get what you ask for. There's nothing wrong for you, Crystal, to know that you're a good presenter, and there's nothing wrong for you to ask for the top billing for that. There's nothing wrong. You're just saying, listen, this is my talent, and this is what I think my talent is worth. And at the end of the day, you garner actually more respect.
True. Recently, I've been having a lot of conversations in terms of gender inequality. That is a discussion that is on a lot of platforms right now. And that's a challenge that a lot of women have, being able to stand up for themselves and to ask for their worth. What are your thoughts on that?
I think the world is changing. I think a lot has been done by the government of Uganda to make sure that there's some form of gender parity. But I think a lot more can certainly be done.
Okay.
And I think it comes from the historic roles that were attributed both to men and women. Women were looked at as the nurturers, the mothers, yes, and those to keep the home. And the fathers were looked at as the providers in the home, those who go out and look for the money, fend for their families, and provide for their families, most importantly. But however, it's important to note that both genders can do both things.
True.
Men can be very, very good fathers, by the way.
Very good nurturers.
They can be very good nurturers. I have many friends who are single fathers, and they're doing a fantastic job. Yes,
they need to be celebrated.
They need to be celebrated more. Fantastic job. And that's the same with women. Women can be mothers and nurturers, but I also know women who are in the boardroom, making, in Fortune 500 companies, making unbelievable decisions that are changing people's lives. So I think at the end of the day, yeah, if you have an employee, yeah, don't look at that employee as just Crystal. Crystal's a woman. Look at that employee as Crystal, and what kind of skill does she have that can benefit my business at the end of the day. So I think we're going to get there. I think women are going to break into the glass ceiling. But also I think it's very important for women also to note that it's a very delicate balance to handle, to manage.
Yes,
and I think that's why I think God made us multitaskers. You must be able to do both.
Yeah.
Yes, work, but also don't also forget the family side.
You can't just do the one.
You can't just do the one. You must find that balance.
I remember you saying, this is many, many years ago, I remember you saying that when you're at work, you cease being a woman.
You read that article?
Yes. Yes, I remember that. I think, was it as a sports presenter or in general?
Yes, I think it was basically in general, and also as a sports, especially a sportscaster. As a sports anchor or an analyst with a bias towards football, many people don't have an appreciation that women can actually analyze football as well as any other man.
It's male-dominated, and at the time you were doing it, there were almost no other women that you would see on TV.
Absolutely no other women. And why I came up with that statement is because with all my counterparts, because at the time I was working with Andrew Patrick Rwanda, the deceased unfortunately, and also James Apoka, who happened to be very highly educated and highly skilled football pundits and football journalists and analysts and anchors.
Yes.
But I had the similar training that they had. Yeah, I went later to get the similar training they had. I was trained at UEFA in Paris.
Yes.
I've done a series of World Cups. I've been trained and mentored by Francois Charles Bidot and also by Gérard Loullier. Yeah, so I had inculcated all the necessary knowledge I needed in order to analyze a game. Yeah, so that's what made me say, really, between me and my male counterparts, there's really nothing, there's no difference. Because at the end of the day, yeah, I have studied every single part of analysis that they've studied. I know the various systems, I know the 442, I mean the diamond, I know every single shape or every single coach tactical strategy that a coach can employ within the 90 minutes of a game. Yeah, so at the end of the day, yeah, there is really no difference.
But I think you felt quite a bit of resistance, like you had to prove yourself.
I did.
Over and over again.
I did. I think it's not necessarily...
How did you handle that, though?
No, because the first time it happened, actually, most of my male counterparts were like, she doesn't know what she's saying.
Wow.
That was at the beginning, you know, because when you before you get on set, yeah, a person can never understand or know what it is you're going to say when you're on set. So when we sit down as analysts, when we sit down on set, yeah, you never know what question the lead anchor is going to give you.
Okay.
And for us, we are the analysts. Okay. And the analyst predicts the game. The analyst analyzes why would a coach make a substitution at this particular time and for what reason. Yeah. And how does that impact the game? Yeah. And at what time do you make that substitution? So you should be able to call all those predictions. Now, so in the beginning, they were giving me really, really hard questions. But at the end of the day, I was answering every single one of them. And they were thinking to themselves, what is wrong with you? And the thing is, I wasn't answering it in layman's speech.
Yeah.
You know, you can tell. Let me give you an example.
Terminology.
Yes, if you're a good lawyer, the word that you're going to say, that the judge will be like, he studied last night. Or if, for example, you're a ballerina, they will tell you do the plie. There are particular words that the language. So I was using the language. I was using the football speak, the analysts speak, and that is what made them convinced that, you know what, she knows exactly what she's saying. And from then I garnered a lot of respect from them.
Okay, all right. Now, you mentioned that you spent some time in the U.S. handling personal business, and you said earlier on before we were chatting that for you, home is here and the U.S.
For me, home is pretty much, I'm a child of the world.
Okay, okay.
I am.
Where were you born?
I was actually born in Uganda.
You were born in Uganda?
Yeah, I was born in Uganda. I left, I was born during the civil strife here in Uganda. I left when I was 6 months old.
Okay.
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time outside of Uganda.
Okay.
I think that's how God had destined it. But later on, as an adult, I returned to Uganda, and I love Uganda. I love it. I think it's my country. I don't think we have any. I don't think our weather is beatable by anybody. The future in Uganda is very, very bright, and I think we're the youngest population, one of the youngest populations in the world. So the future is really, it really belongs to Uganda. The ability for us, I mean, I see Ugandan people, I work with a lot of young people, their passion and innovation and can only take us in one direction, can only take us up. Okay. So yes, I've lived in many places around the world. Okay. Yeah.
So your parents, was it your parents' jobs that
yes,
enabled you to move
it was,
that much?
Yes, it was for two reasons really.
Okay.
My parents' jobs at the particular time, and also for schooling.
Okay.
But I think also at that time, my parents thought that it's important for someone to have the best of both worlds. You should be able, and it's very, very important, to expose your kids as much as possible. Let them understand, perhaps, what a person who is in Owino goes through. Let them understand what a person who maybe is a chef at Le Chateau goes through. Give them a bird's eye view, and at the end of the day, it makes you more of a realistic person, and you're able to handle life. Really able to handle life. And many times
you're able to adapt.
You're able to adapt. Many times people used to ask me, how could you work in a national broadcaster? You know, national broadcasters in Africa have huge challenges, major challenges.
I mean, if you even just look back at the last 15 years.
I'm telling you. But at the end of the day, it's how you adapt to that situation, how you adapt to people, and how you adapt to your environment. You should be at home in Uganda, the same way you're at home in Nairobi, same way you're at home in Johannesburg, same way you're at home in New York.
Okay. Yeah. So you said you left Uganda, you lived in very many countries, and I guess you went to school in very many different places.
Yes, I did.
As well. So where did you go to school?
I went to school in Kenya.
Okay.
I went to school in South Africa. I went to school in France.
Okay. Yeah. So this was your primary, was it?
What, my whole primary, my whole secondary, and then also parts of when I was in university and not.
Okay.
But my parents thought it was very important for me to do my university here in Uganda because I'd been away for so long. Yeah. And the best place to bond actually would be at university. Ah. Yeah. So
So you came back here for university?
I did.
Okay.
I did a political science degree here in Uganda.
Okay.
I also did one in my LLB.
Yes.
My Bachelor of Laws.
Yes.
And the bar here in Uganda.
Here in Uganda?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So that's interesting. I've been talking to quite a few people who are sending their children back. Before they come back to Uganda, they've moved abroad, they've been working abroad, and they've had their children abroad, but they're sending their children back in high school so that they can actually assimilate into the culture here. So I guess what you're saying about making sure they know both sides,
and the world has greatly changed. I think now most countries, even those in Africa, want to greatly ensure that they have peace stability, security. You've heard the president of Uganda talk about it. He said the primordial thing about that we must ensure in Uganda is peace and stability.
Yeah.
Because with that foundation, you can do anything. Yeah, it wasn't like that in the past.
Yeah.
So you couldn't be able to enjoy both worlds. But at the end of the day, you should be able to settle at home and enjoy home. I don't think there's any difference between Uganda, between Kenya, between South Africa, between the US, between the UK. No difference whatsoever.
Okay, okay. So you finished your university here. Did you start working immediately?
No.
Or you were in school for?
No, I was on holiday in hiatus. Yeah. No, I was on holiday for a lot of time, and I was also, I did a lot of work in various other places, lots of projects.
What was your first job?
My first
job.
Do
you remember?
I do. It was a television job.
Okay.
Somewhere, yeah. It was a television job, and I was paid like $300 or something like that.
Is that when you were 14? I think.
Yes, I started. Yes, I started television very early. I started at 14.
All right. So it came for you that early.
It came for me. No, for me, I always knew what I wanted to do, and for me, television is it.
So even when you were younger,
I knew.
You tell your parents that?
Yes. I knew that television is what I wanted to do. And everything I've ever purposed, in everything that I've ever done, it was because of television.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it was to do a law degree, it was because of television, to understand the legal aspects of television.
Okay.
If it was to do politics, it was to understand the mind of a politician when it comes to broadcasting and politics and television.
Okay.
If it was to do with even the national broadcaster, I was there because of television.
You actually specialized in media law, isn't it?
I did. That's my specialty.
Well, there you go. So in school, were you that child who would look for a microphone wherever you could find it, jump on stage whenever you could?
No, not really.
What kind of child were you?
I was just a very happy kid, very blasé. Yeah, nothing to prove kind of thing.
All right.
Yeah, always sitting like, I was brilliant, yeah, but not the kind that sits in the front of the class.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you keep to yourself?
No, I wouldn't really
keep. Were you talkative?
I was mediocre. I was mediocre. Yeah, just mediocre.
So school days weren't that memorable?
School days were not that memorable for me. Yeah, they just weren't.
Okay.
They weren't that memorable for me because I wasn't a popular kid in school.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I wasn't, it was like, okay, let's go to school. Yeah, okay.
And did you ever experience like bullying or?
Yeah, a lot. A lot of bullying.
Okay.
But I'm just a really resilient person. Yeah. And I'm usually not fazed. And even at that time, I wasn't fazed at all. I knew that people who bully people are people who have problems in their own respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They probably
people who have problems
at home.
They have their own problems at home. They just have issues because you can't take all that time,
and energy,
spending your time with me and getting into my business if you don't have real issues. So it really wasn't an issue for me. It really wasn't.
Well, good for you because a lot of people, they struggle with that.
Yeah,
they struggle with that. They even carry it into adulthood. Are
you sure?
Yeah.
I'm just a clap back kind of person. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was talking with someone last year.
Yeah.
And she was talking about meeting. Now she's grown, she's working, she has children of her own, and meeting two women who bullied her. Terribly back in school.
And when did she?
And it was like she said she literally had a physical reaction.
You sure?
And it still had that much power over her.
Yeah.
So it's amazing how, like you said, for you, your clap back, people deal with things differently.
I think people deal with things differently, but I think at the end of the day, you have to let some stuff go. It's very hard to say, and it's very hard to do, because it depends on what that person did to you.
Yeah.
But you need to find a way. It's very difficult. You need to find a way to forgive that person and to move on.
Yeah, true. Otherwise, it will always have power
Otherwise,
over you.
yeah, that's the thing. And I think many people don't understand this, and I learned this quite early on, that whatever you focus on, you bring to life, you manifest. So you find that in that instance, those two ladies who met that girl, or I mean, those two ladies who met your friend, when she met them and she panicked, they might have not even remembered.
No, that's probably the
They
case.
might have not even remembered. So what you do is constant fixation on something leads to a manifestation.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it leads to manifestation, and it gets a total grip on you when that's not the case.
Sure. You focus on negativity.
But when you leave something, when you let it go, then
so who was mentoring you?
I've had a lot of mentors.
You had quite a mature mindset. I mean,
I must admit, I've had a lot of mentors in my life.
Yeah.
And I have, I really encourage people to get a mentor. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a mentor today, go out there and try to understudy somebody. I'm currently also a mentor for the Sherry Blair Foundation.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mentor a lot of people. Okay. And you know what they say now, Crystal, is you must have two kinds of mentors. Okay. You must have a mentor who's much older than you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, almost 20 years older than you. Mm-hmm. And then you must have a mentor who is also 20 years younger than you. Because then you're able to get the best of both worlds. Yes. You're able to understand how to deal with multi-billion-dollar business, and then you're also able to understand how to live in a millennials kind of world and to adapt to the modern technology in the fourth industrial revolution. Yes, so I've had a lot of mentors.
That makes perfect sense.
I am so blessed. I really am so blessed.
You never know where the lesson is coming
from
or who the lesson is coming from.
Let me tell you, I'm just so blessed. I've had so many people in my life who've had my back. Some of them invisibly, but they've had my back for free. Yes. Made recommendations from me. I'm just so blessed. Okay. And I know it doesn't happen to everybody. Mm-hmm. I know people don't have opportunities, the kind of opportunities I've had, and people give me those opportunities on merit. Mm-hmm. It doesn't happen for everybody. Yes. So I'm very, very blessed. Okay. I can't deny it.
All right.